Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an all-new video. Today, we are attempting to make Lewis Hamilton an 8-time Formula 1 World Champion inside F1 23, but that comes with a twist. A new short format race style, and I'm racing in cockpit camera. Will it go well? Will I crash? Will Bottle Job 212 strike again? Get yourself subscribed. Today we're racing at this venue on your screens, and let's get into qualifying.
And here we are then, back in Miami for round 5 of the season then. Been a little while since I last did a video from this career mode, but you know, as we move into 2024, I feel like this is going to be a good year for the channel. So of course, if you aren't already, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well. Of course, heading to Miami, still I believe Verstappen who leads the way in the championship, if my memory hasn't failed me. But yeah, of course, Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez in hot pursuit as well there. We're still after our first truly big result of the season. Maybe Miami can be that circuit. It's clearly running a lot more downforce than a lot of our competitors around this venue, losing plenty of time as we make our way down that back straight there, but gaining it all again as we head through this complicated part of the venue. Unpopular opinion, I actually really like the Miami circuit, at least in the game, to drive on. Don't like it though when I slap the wall as we try and put the power down out onto the back straight there. Fractions behind Carlos Sainz at the moment. We are going to lose a little bit of time though down this back straight, and especially through that final corner. But yeah, qualifying has not been my strong point so far this campaign. And a little bit of a lock-up there as well. Down at the final B braking zone of the lap is not going to do me any favours. At the final corner we go, though. It is going to be, I think, P7 on the grid then, here in Miami. That's one of my better results this season, so we'll take it. Well, very fine margins then at the end of qualifying, but it is Carlos Sainz who lines up on pole position here in Miami. Verstappen and Lando Norris, P2 and P3 there. So 3 drivers from 3 different teams inside the top 3. We line up just behind our teammate George Russell there, but ahead of Sergio Perez, who's had a bit of a disaster in that second Red Bull car. And it is, still Perez that leads the championship, isn't it there? 5 points ahead of Leclerc, 15 ahead of Verstappen. But yeah, we're still down in P6, but can we get a big result today here in the Miami Grand Prix?
Welcome to the Miami International Autodrome, home of the Miami Grand Prix. This exciting track circumnavigates the Hard Rock Stadium, home to the NFL outfit, the Miami Dolphins. Sitting at the southeastern coast of Florida, the Miami International Autodrome has 19 corners and 3.36 miles of racing. It's a circuit designed to encourage close racing while meeting the highest safety standards. Either way, I am sure it's one which will please the fans. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Fernando Alonso, Lewis, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Ocon, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Russell, Ricciardo, Joe, Albon, Sargent, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Well, here we are then at trackside for the Miami Grand Prix, and looks like, yeah, I think tyre wear the team are anticipating to be a rather difficult one today. So we're going to try and go with the alternate strategy then, and maybe open up ourselves a little bit of a window later on in the afternoon. There are 11 laps on the mediums, followed by a 9-lap blast on the softs to see us through to the checkered flag. But yeah, got to keep it clean and tidy here in Miami. There's every possibility of a safety car as well, but George Russell with some penalties means we're in P5. It's 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go there. Lando Norris not getting a particularly good start as we make our way down in towards turn 1, though. Perez and Oscar Piastri, though, an absolutely wild start there. Piastri trying to make it 3 wide into turn 1, and that's actually worked out nicely for Lando Norris there, who was on the outside and has been able to get back round Fernando Alonso, who maybe had to dodge the rogue Australian, and in the end, well, I thought we were going to drop back a couple of places, but we've ended up hanging on to that P5 then, where we started. Rather less surprisingly, though, Verstappen at the front of the field immediately has taken the lead of the Miami Grand Prix here. So, yeah, Dutchman, of course, I'm sure wants to try and get back to the top of the Drivers' Championship after, yeah, a bit of a nightmare weekend out in Baku. But look how much straight line speed we're losing. We have really opted for a very, very different downforce concept than a lot of drivers this weekend. And at least at the moment, it looks like we're going to have to keep our eyes on the mirrors throughout a lot of the venue here. Through this section of circuit, we can pretty much make back all the time, though. So it is going to be a bit of a game of cat and mouse today. But yeah, maybe we'll struggle to try and gain places down the straights. Perhaps a lot of it is going to have to come from strategy. Speaking of which, it looks like I didn't select the strategy I set up. So yeah, we're actually starting this one on a set-off still in the end. So no alternate strategy for me, apparently. But end of that one, it is Verstappen who still leads the way. 5 drivers from 5 different teams inside your top 5 here. Is Esteban Ocon up to P7 ahead of Checo. At the front of the field then, it looks like Lando Norris is applying some pressure to his former teammate in Carlos Sainz there, but Verstappen just trying to control things at the front of the field. We're dropping back slightly. We've actually lost the DRS range to Fernando Alonso, but Esteban Ocon has now moved his way up into P6 as well then. So the Alpine driver having an absolutely brilliant start to the Miami Grand Prix. Perez and Piastri just seem to be in a dogfight with a car they really don't want to be. Reminiscent of Magnussen versus Leclerc in the real-life race here. But yeah, we're just trying to get closer to Fernando, or hoping he loses that DRS to the McLaren in front of him. But yeah, we're struggling just a little bit to match these guys. Well, to be honest, I had also forgot just how ridiculously quick the AI are out onto that back straight here in Miami. So we were going to be losing straight line speed anyway today, had I opted for lower downforce. So I think just trying to stick with these guys at the moment is still our best kind of plan of attack. Just sit here, you know, eye up our options, because we've got such a big gap to the cars already behind us. But yeah, it really does make things difficult later on if I want to try and attack these front runners. I want to get another podium if possible. I certainly don't see why it shouldn't be possible. But yeah, it's just about trying to work on a strategy that's going to work for me and kind of try and take the AI by surprise. You can just see there though, look at that, Alonso. It's like they click a warp drive button and just fly off down the back straight. I think this is going to be the part of the track where we really gain then in on Fernando Alonso. Have a look down the inside of the Aston Martin, and he kind of has to jump out the way a little bit there. Of course, our former McLaren sparring partner all those years ago. We get fully alongside, and you can see there Alonso is dropped out of the DRS range of those cars in front, so this might make our life a little bit easier then. Also, we'll try and continue duking out with him to the inside of Fernando. Oh, he tries to cover us off right at the last moment, but we get the car stopped. We get down the inside, and we are now up and into P4 then of the Miami Grand Prix. They're a daring little overtake, as yeah, we weren't quite sure I was going to get the car slowed down, but that is Fernando Alonso ticked off the list. Overtake on Fernando worked wonders in the sense of we gained another place in this GP. However, trying to get back inside the range of Lando and Sainz up in front is seeming near impossible unless we throw caution to the wind with a bit of an obscure strategy. Don't just see a way at the moment that we get inside the range of these two drivers in front again. A little puff of sand or dust or dirt or something getting pushed up. So maybe they're having a bit more of a battle. And we just need to try and get back within that 1 second there as mounting the curbs as best as possible. The gap comes down, but it only comes down to 1.2. Well, I think the problem we've really had is that Lando is just attacking Sainz, but Sainz is staying in the range of Verstappen, so they're all kind of getting dragged along by the Red Bull there. Here we go, this time around Lando Norris to the outside of the Spaniard, but I think we're probably all going to be boxing at the end of this lap there. I certainly will be. These soft tyres have certainly pretty much used up all of their grip, but no, Lando Norris and Verstappen opt to dive in. Carlos Sainz though in that Ferrari, well I mean he's in a Ferrari isn't he, so that tells you everything you need to know. This hopefully then has been a good call as we'll slow up the Red Bull as well there. We'll come out just behind Fernando Alonso, so maybe we've closed in a little bit on the top two. Fernando and I perhaps working together ever so slightly in that regard. There we go. Got to remember again what my pit lane button is. It's been a while, as we're going to come out right alongside Daniel Ricciardo and right behind my teammate George Russell then. So fingers crossed George will work with me here to make our way through the next couple of corners. Look at the grip we've got over our teammate there down the inside of the Mercedes. Yeah, Lando Norris then getting held up a little bit by Nico Hulkenberg. But George, please work with me. I can't let George Russell get back past me and then potentially get stuck behind him as we make our way through this next sector. And yeah, we have got the DRS. I don't know off who, but we'll take it there as Russell to the outside, Lando to the inside of Hulkenberg. It is all kicking off at the moment, but we will hang on ahead of our teammate there and stay in what could be a potential P3 here. But just look at this train of cars as we make our way through the final sector there. Hulkenberg very, very slow, trying to move out onto the back straight, so we'll try and get down the inside of the Haas car. Sure, they're going to have some DRS again, but that thing is no slouch in a straight line. We haven't got enough battery though. Hulkenberg will say thank you very much, and we'll sail back around the outside there. He'll go defensive on me, so we'll go much, much later on the brakes down the end of the back straight. Give him a bit of a squeeze. Gasly going to peel into the pit lane as well, but looks like we've still got a few cars hanging out there, unless that is Max Verstappen. Where's Sainz going to re-emerge in all of this though? There is the Spaniard. And look at that, Sainz hasn't lost anything then, so Ferrari actually haven't made a bad call here. Verstappen though has bolted free, and suddenly we're in the fight for P2. Here goes Lando Norris again, going to be trying to eye up a move on Carlos Sainz. These two really have been the stars of the show today, delivering action here in Miami. And there goes the McLaren down the inside. I'm just going to try and save some battery whilst we watch the show unfold. There is Sainz not wanting to give up on it. They're still side by side. As they make their way through the next couple of corners, and Carlos Sainz there somehow will hang on to that one. But yeah, I guess for me at the moment it's save battery and see if we can try and get a move done on the pair of them there as we get tremendous traction out into the back straight. And then we wave goodbye to Lando Norris again, who might try and get a run on Carlos. Might not be close enough. He's going to look for it again down this back straight there. We've just got to be really, really measured and controlled behind. But Sainz again will stay in front for now. Got yellows, I believe, out somewhere, but further back. Safety car now has certainly spiced things up. But who is it going slowly then in this Grand Prix? It's one of the Haas. It might be Hulkenberg out of the GP. And that's really disappointing for the Haas team there, because of course Miami, one of their 3 home Grand Prix inside this game. Lando and Sainz, they're still battling out. I think they're going to be doing that all day long. But no, it's Magnussen out of the GP, but doesn't look like we're going to get a safety car, as Lando Norris this time around gets all the way around the outside of Carlos Sainz through the final couple of corners. He's going to have the inside for turn 1. Surely he completes this move then on the Ferrari this time around. Sainz again not wanting to back out of it. And look at that, Sainz gets right round him. We're going to try and make it almost 3 wide though, as we'll try and capitalise on the opportunity down the inside of the Ferrari. Little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but we'll swoop round. We'll take the double overtake, and we are then up into P2 of the Miami Grand Prix here. I said we had to bide our time. And let's try and go in pursuit of Verstappen then. The gap 3 seconds up the road. If we can keep Sainz at bay down this back straight, then surely it's just going to be all eyes in front there, as while Sainz is gaining. I'm going to have to go defensive on him, but Sainz still gets to the inside there. Overtakes into the yellow flag zone. We got to try and make sure that we go back for it in the greens, which we will. And we hang on to P2 for now. Well, just over 5 laps to go then, and still the gap to Max Verstappen 3.3 seconds. I think, to be honest, trying to defend from the cars behind, he's going to be a lot more likely than getting to that Red Bull car in front. A little bit of a shame right towards the end of the afternoon. It would be nice to fight for the win, but I'm sure that opportunity will come our way at some point. I tell you what, less than 4 laps to go now. Verstappen, that gap's come down to 1.5 seconds. Sainz, Norris and Alonso are all still duking out behind me and costing each other bags of time. But I wonder if the Dutchman's got a small mechanical issue on that Red Bull, or is just lulling me into a false sense of security. But we are not going to give up on this just yet. A little bit of a mistake through the final turns. We have got pace. Come on, all I need to do is get inside that range of Max Verstappen, and that'll hopefully give us a little bit of extra free time against the Dutchman here. Lewis Hamilton hasn't won a race since Jeddah 2021. Can we put an end to that spell today? 2 laps to go. We are now inside that DRS range. Sainz has moved back up to P3 a little bit further back, but now we've got a chance just to just save a little bit of energy in the battery pack. You can see how much these tyres are going though. No idea what's happened to George Russell today. He's had to box twice. But come on, I want one opportunity to beat Max Verstappen here. It was such a big discussion point of 2023, that Red Bull, how quick it is in a straight line. And even with the DRS, we are not really gaining anything on Max Verstappen. It is all through the twisty bits that we are taking time out of this Dutchman in front of us as we try and roll on the power. Just over 1 lap to go here of the Miami Grand Prix. We'll open up that DRS once again, but to be honest, I don't really want to be ahead of Max heading into this final DRS zone next time round, as we brake ever so slightly later. Just had that sudden panic that we might go into the back of the Dutchman, but come on, these two have fought for so many wins. And now it is time to fight for another one here. We've had 1 podium so far this season. I'd hoped heading into this weekend that Miami would be a good chance for us. And after qualifying, I wasn't really convinced anymore. But suddenly, come race day, we've been really strategic with where we've made moves on other cars. We've bided our time and we have looked after the tyres, hopefully as best as possible. Will all of these combining factors give us an opportunity to get past Max Verstappen here on the final lap? We'll save a little bit more battery here. You can see how much that Red Bull pulls away. And then once we open up the DRS, that gap pretty much equalises again into the hairpin once more. This is where we've got to make up the time on the Dutchman as we make our way through this complicated middle sector for the final time. Just roll the car through nicely, attack the curbs. You can see how close we get to the Dutchman's gearbox. So we make our way through there. A little bit of understeer, but roll on the power, roll on the battery. We've got to go for it. Down in towards the final corners of the Miami Grand Prix. But look at that. Max Verstappen, he's just waltzing away from me. And if this isn't a metaphor for what F1 is at the moment. Oh, we're going to have a look. No, we're not. Not quite down the inside there. Missed my braking point slightly. Max Verstappen is going to come through to win the Miami Grand Prix, but that is agonisingly close.
Well done, mate. Well done. That's a great finish. You've really stepped up and achieved what we asked you to do today, so good job.
They've done it then. A truly magnificent win here at the Miami International Autodrome. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Today's performance means that Max Verstappen now owns the top spot in the Drivers' Championship. So let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for your driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings.
Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship.
I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Miami GP there, and it's Verstappen that takes the win, just 6/10 clear of Lewis Hamilton come the checkered flag there. Sainz, Norris and Alonso, that battle raged on right to the very end there, but my driver of the day is going to go to Valtteri Bottas. Fantastic job done by the Flying Finn there to pick up a couple of points for Alfa Romeo, and that means in the championship, Verstappen now 6 points clear of Perez, who is just 1 ahead of Charles Leclerc though, so 7 points covering our top 3, 6 points covering Sainz, and myself, as well as George Russell there. We're still in 6th place, but maybe we can try and move up the order next weekend there. Red Bull's still a bit of a lead over Mercedes and Ferrari, but hopefully, yeah, we are going to be in that fight there. Alfa Romeo, yep, their first points of the year, jumped them ahead of Haas, as well as, obviously, Williams and AlphaTauri as well there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very, very soon when Formula 1 returns, ready for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. You guys do not want to miss that.
A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for their continued donations to help my work. These things go much further than I think a lot of you ever realise, and allow me to continue making content full-time here on YouTube. So if you want to support me from as little as £1 a month and be featured on all of these end clips, either click the join button next to the subscribe or head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description.